Welcome to the channel. Welcome to sunny Wales. What a glorious day. So I'm going to try and answer a question in today's video, and the question is, if you've got 10 grand to spend, what is better? A used Aprilia Tuono, like I'm riding now, or a brand new Honda CB1000 Hornet? So if you're interested to see how that goes, keep watching. So the plan for this video is I'm going to ride over to CMC Bikes Thunder Road in Bridgend on this Aprilia Tuono, taking a couple of mountain passes on the way, some good roads hopefully, and then I'm going to take out their Honda Hornet. I'm going to try and do some of the same roads if I can, and then we'll share some thoughts, see what we think, see which is, you know, the better bike for the money. So a bit of, I get it, there's a full disclosure required here. This is my own Tuono, so this is my bike, 2020 model. So you could say, oh, you're totally biased. Why are you going to say that the Hornet's better? However, there is some balancing factors, I think. So I'm a massive Honda fan, and I have a Honda Fireblade 2017 track bike, which is what the engine from the Hornet is based on. It's basically the same engine with a few subtle changes that we'll probably get into that later. So I have a bit of history, and so I feel like, you know, I almost have an affinity with the Hornet before I've even ridden it. So hopefully that balances out any bias. That's the intention anyway. Just a bit about my riding, because there's no point in me, you know, spouting all this stuff and you don't know how I ride or what my experiences and stuff. So predominantly a sports bike rider, do track days, mini bike racing and all that sort of good stuff. A little bit off-road as well, but predominantly a sports bike rider. So that's what my background is. But love all bikes. But you know, I like to ride maybe on the spirited side of life, I think is fair to say. So yeah, I didn't see any point in just doing a standard review of the Hornet. It's been done to death on YouTube. What's the point in that? You know, it sounds like it's an amazing bike for the price. So I thought I'd try and do something a little bit different. Who knows? I might end up buying one. I might end up trading this 200 in. That's not in the plan, by the way. That's not in the plan, but who knows? So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm actually really excited about riding the Hornet. I'm really excited about riding this. So, I mean, it might look like the middle of summer here, but it's not. This is late April. The weather is unbelievable. Incredible. It's going to be the warmest day of the year so far. It's going to be sort of low 20s, which is incredible. But I haven't done much riding yet this year. You know, the riding season only just started for us here in Wales. We don't ride over the winter. And it's the first time I've jumped back on this Tuono for a while, actually. So that's been a bit of a wake-up call. So some thoughts on the Aprilia. It's interesting to get reacquainted with it, having not ridden all winter. It's the first time I've jumped back on it. It's an absolute animal. I mean, it's an amazing bike, but it is a handful. It wants to wheelie everywhere. The power delivery is aggressive. The gearbox is quite slow speeds around town. The gearbox and the clutch are quite jerky, and it's not happy at slow speeds. On full, you know, acceleration, and once you're actually moving on decent roads, it's fine. But around town, it's hard work. Right at 20 mile an hour. Again, I'm not going into the 20 limit thing, but trying to ride this at 20 mile an hour is horrendous. I mean, it's just bucking and weaving. It's people that don't ride a motorcycle wouldn't understand. They say, talking like an idiot, how can you not be able to ride it at 21 an hour? You can, but it's not comfortable, it's not nice. Yeah, it's not its happy place, that's for sure. The sound, by the way, is incredible. just a little bit on the spec of this Aprilia. I mentioned earlier it's a V4 1100 factory, so it's the top model 209. So you're talking about 180 brake horsepower there or thereabouts. Fully, semi-active Öhlins suspension, front and rear, Brembo brakes. So it's got all the toys that you would expect for the top of the range model. So this bike rides like a sports bike. There's no two ways about it. It is basically an RSV4 Aprilia with flat bars. It feels like a sports bike to me. That said, I do find this bike real comfortable. The leg position is fairly aggressive. Your knees are quite bent and set back, because I think that foot peg position is just identical to the RSV4. But I'm okay with that. Even with my dodgy knees, I'm okay with that. So I just stopped here to do a quick walk around of the Aprilia. Desperately try not to get my shadow all over the bike. I think the one thing about this bike is it oozes quality and it oozes style. It looks premium. You know, I think that's certainly my view. Obviously it's got, you know, hugely quality components, Acura exhaust, Öhlins suspension, Brembo brakes. I think the sheep in the background agree. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but it looks quality. It looks fast. It looks fast at a standstill. It goes without saying that the power delivery on this bike is insane. More power than you can ever need. You don't have to rev it. It pulls right from, you know, low down. That V4 is such a fantastic engine configuration. Don't have to rev it. If you do rev it, you better be holding on. Incredible. The brakes and suspension are fantastic. Exactly what you would expect. What I would say is, this might be 5 years old, this bike, but I think it still rides like new. It feels like new to me. Yeah, it's been looked after. It's only done 4,000 miles, but everything is still feels tight. You know, feels as it should. So that's a good thing. I mean, I think the people might say Aprilia build quality is questionable. I've not had any problems with this whatsoever. The dealer network is poor, that is a fact, and that's something you're buying into, servicing and all that type of good stuff. And if you had a problem, a warranty problem and stuff, the dealers are few and far between. That is definitely a consideration when, you know, thinking about buying one of these. So, welcome to CMC Thunder Road, as it says. What a place this is. So these are the guys that have kindly going to lend me their Hornet to take out. And this is a fantastic story. So Thunder Road is a bike shop. It's been in Bridgend for 70 years, family owned. And then it was taken over a couple of years ago by Completely Motorbikes. Unfortunately, when they folded last autumn, it took this Thunder Road with it, closed. All the staff made redundant, everyone loses their job, all the usual stuff. But it's a proper phoenix from the flames story. So CMC Motorcycles took the site over and they're back. Thunder Road is back, and just look at this selection of motorcycles. This is my heaven. And they're all presented absolutely superb. So this is such a great news story. So the motorcycle industry is having a tough time at the moment. You know, lots of dealers closing. So for CMC to step in and take this site on and resurrect Thunder Road is absolutely fantastic. We need some good news stories like this. So yeah, really good, proper phoenix from the flames stuff. I think everyone thought Thunder Road was done and dusted. And here we go. So they're also a Honda main dealer, which is why I'm here to take this Hornet out for a spin. Different. Yeah, full range of Hondas. So let's stop messing around. Let's get this Hornet out on the road and see what we think. So we're away, up and running. Oh, it's warm, really warm. So, I'm so excited about this, so excited. You know, when a bike's had loads of hype, and these, you know, bikes have had a lot of hype, I want to see what it's all about. So we're going to try it on some fantastic Welsh roads. We're going to do the bulk mounting that we did on the way out on the Aprilia. Hopefully some other roads that I don't even know actually, so hopefully there's some twisty stuff and we can see what it's all about. Right, a couple of these I can tell you straight away. I can get it into neutral when I'm sat at the traffic lights, which is one thing, is a nightmare with the Aprilia, getting it into neutral. And the noise of the Aprilia is one of the appeals, as you probably worked out, but when you're sat there at the traffic lights and it's droning away, it's not quite so appealing. So this is obviously a completely different animal to that. Dead quiet, totally, you know, well, getting into neutral is just not a question. This is Honda. They don't have problems with stuff like that. So we've got a little bit of sort of urban stuff to get out of Bridgend. So we're going to have a bit of all sorts, I think, which is what we need really. When they did the launch for these, it was all done on the hills around just north of Benidorm. It looked fantastic. But I have to say, I think it wasn't as warm as it is here today, so we've definitely done well. So this model is the standard model. It's not the SP model. They didn't have an SP model, so that's fine. Differences are minimal. The SP has an extra 5 brake horsepower, so this has got 150 horsepower. And the SP has that due to an exhaust valve. The SP has Olin suspension, I think it has Brembo brakes, but a lot of the road tests I've seen where people have compared the two, the differences don't translate that much. That said, the price difference is only £1,000, so these are just under 9 and the SP is just under 10. No money for a 1000cc bike. Really isn't. I don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's a lot of money. I get it. Lots of people are feeling the pinch and all that, so you know, I'm not saying 10 grand is no money, but for a bike, you know, 1000cc new bike, that's no money. So yeah, it's a shame we couldn't test the SP, but that's okay. I still believe you can get a second-hand, maybe 5-6 year old Tuono for the same money as what you can buy one of these new for. So the test is still valid. So the first thing, it's Honda. This is ridiculously easy to ride. I've jumped on it, I'm just rabbiting away, talking rubbish like usual. I ain't even thinking about it. Not even thinking about it. Yeah, ridiculously easy to ride. The display looks pretty good. We're in sport mode, but the display looks pretty simple to read, which is good. Give it, it's only 50 miles an hour, so we can't really give it too much of a tickle. Can't really hear the exhaust at all. Kind of what you expect with the Euro regulations. When we're able to open up a bit more, we might get to hear it singing a bit, but at the minute we're not hearing very much. Alright, I'm in the wrong lane. That's always good fun. Road you don't know. So whilst this isn't the SP, it has got the optional sports pack, which includes, it's got a couple of bodywork things, screen and stuff, but most importantly, the bit I'm most interested in, it's got the quick shifter and blipper. That's what we want. I have to say, initial thoughts, it certainly picks up. You know, 4-cylinder bike, sometimes there's a bit of a lag, so even inline 4 rather, a bit of a lag when you open the throttle. I know I'm just poodling along, but yeah, there's a bit of a lag, but before the power starts to build. But really, at this point, early impressions, not a problem. First overriding impression, then easy to ride. Second impression, the seat's bloody hard. Really uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable, just hard. I can feel it digging in at the sides here. Certainly compared to my Aprilia, which feels plush. Yeah, so the seat definitely feels hard. But that might be good when we start to get a bit more spirited, I guess. The seat position is an interesting one. There's hardly any room for, I feel like I want to move back, and I can't. And if I move forward, then I feel like my nuts are sort of on the tank. So yeah, again, you have to take this all in context of, you know, only a short test ride. So, but yeah, definitely the seat position feels maybe not optimal for me. Oh, bumpy road. Quick shifter. Let's talk about the quick shifter. It's good now. I know with these, you can go into the interface and change all the quick shifter settings. Unfortunately, I haven't got time to do that. So far, again, I haven't tried it on any really fast road yet, but it's a little bit clunky. I probably wouldn't say that if I hadn't ridden Aprilia on the way out, and the Aprilia one is smooth like butter. So maybe we'll come back to that. Suspension feels okay at the minute. Again, we'll reserve judgment until we're on the move a bit more. But it's just ridiculously easy to ride. A new rider could jump on this and ride it. I wouldn't want to put a new rider, someone who's just passed their test, on the Tuono. I think it's a bike for the experienced rider maybe compared to this. Okay, the quick shifter feels better already. Sheep alert, sheep alert. Okay, I'd say initial thoughts then. It goes, you have to rev it, but it does go, really goes. Okay, I'm just trying to get my head around the gears here. Don't know this road that well, ridden it a few times. Hope that's not a line of diesel up the middle. Oh, bit of a head shake there. Right, so I've stopped here up the Bulk Mountain. We're just overlooking Treorchy. What a view this is. Just to have a bit of a look at the bike, really. Have a bit of a walk round. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know what these look like. It's in the dark grey. Not sure the colour scheme is the best. It's quite bland. There was a red one in the showroom, which was way nicer. The SP is only available in the sort of matte black colour, but the standard one, like this one, I think is available the red. There might be another colour. I'll check that. Yes, it's a nice looking bike. It definitely doesn't have the wow factor of the Aprilia. It doesn't. But it's nice. You can get rid of that huge great mudguard taillight at the back, tidy that up, a different exhaust, and I think it would look a lot different. Definitely the red one. So it's got the seat cowl, which is nice. The first impressions are it's good. It's ridiculously easy to ride, but it's typical Honda. I expected no less, really. I've ridden a few Hondas. I own a few Hondas, and they're always just ridiculously easy to ride, no drama, and this is the same. It's fast, handles good, really good. There we go, so you can see it's the demonstrator. I'll turn the key on so you can see the dash. You would have seen it from the onboard footage anyway. In fact, it's going to be absolutely hopeless in this light really to see it, but it's clear, it's perfect really. It does exactly what you need. So I think the summary is this is an amazing bike for the money. 9 grand. Crazy, incredible bike. How it stacks up against a second-hand Aprilia is a different question, and we'll come to that at the end. We haven't ridden this enough yet, but I'm really enjoying it. You just can't get away from the price tag, if I'm honest. Continuing on the way. Oh, it's warm when I stop. Really warm. So I've not ridden this road before. It's quite good. A bit bumpy in places, but the Honda is soaking the bumps up. Yeah, I said I reserved judgment on the suspension until we're on faster roads. It is a little bit, I don't want to say crashy, that's too strong, firm. So it could well be, oh, more sheep, that could well be dialed out. Yeah, the quick shift just needs you to be positive with it. It takes a firm press. The fueling's really good, really good. You know, a lot of new bikes suffer with bad fueling, trying to meet the Euro emissions. All the manufacturers struggle with it. This is good. This is good. Honda have really got this fueling sorted out. He says that, and as I opened the throttle there, but then I've changed down to second. I probably shouldn't. It was a bit snatchy. I probably could have left that in third. Really good question is, what is the actual competition for this bike? So forget what I'm trying to do here with the comparison against a used Tuono. I don't mean that. I mean, where I'm going. I mean, as a new bike, and in this price point, there's nothing really. I mean, the Kawasaki Z900, not the RS, not the Z900, not the retro, the standard Z900. But that's more money. And I'm a massive Kawasaki fan, but I don't believe it's be as good as this. Maybe I need to take one out to see whether I'm right before I make assumptions. But it certainly don't look as nice as this. It's an interesting bit of road. So there is very little competition. Street Triple RS, more money. Street Triple RS. Okay, standard Street Triple, 765 triples, giving away probably 25, maybe 30 horsepower to this. But that's probably more of a comparison. Ridden many Street Triples, and it has got something of that about it. As in, you could probably use this bike for anything. You could chuck some luggage on the back, go touring. You could commute on it. You could do a track day. And that's the Street Triples, you know, forte. It is the Swiss Army knife of bikes as far as I'm concerned. Oh, got a little bit lost in Bridgend on the way back, but we're nearly back at CMC Thunder Road. Amazing afternoon, so lucky to be able to do this. This bike is fantastic. I need to compose my thoughts really, answer the question. Got 10 grand to spend, what's better? New Honda Hornet or a second-hand Aprilia Tuono? It's not going to be straightforward. I'd like to thank the guys at CMC, so Andrew and Nigel, for letting me take this lovely Honda Hornet out, because I wouldn't be able to do it without them. So thanking them hugely. Right, I'll compose my thoughts and then let you know. So, the thoughts then. Got 10 grand to spend. Do you buy a second-hand Aprilia Tuono like this one, 2019, 2020? Or do you buy a brand new Hornet 1000cc Honda? Well, they are both brilliant bikes, that's the first thing. Without a shadow of a doubt, you would not be disappointed with either of them. They are both apex assassins. That's what they're built for. They are built for going around corners fast, A-roads, fantastic. But they go about it differently. This Aprilia is your loud, tattooed, shouty, look at me type assassin. Wants everyone to know what it's up to. Whereas the Honda is your suited and booted, silent assassin. That's how I would summarise it. They do the same job but in a totally different way. So it kind of depends what you want. You know, this is, Aprilia is no good in town. It's hard work in town, yeah. 20 mile an hour, real uncomfortable. It's hot, it's jerky, it's not comfortable. So if you were doing a lot of commuting, driving in the city, this is not the bike. The Hornet would be way better. If you want a bike that's going to give you miles per miles on a sunny day like today, it's this. It's a hoot, but it's not for the faint-hearted. It's certainly not for new riders. It's leery, it wants to wheelie everywhere. Yeah, you don't have to ride it like that, but that is where it wants to be. Whereas the Honda, you can be a lot more calm. Don't go wrong, it was, as I said, it will do the same job, but it does it in a different way. It's calmer, it's smoother, so it depends what you want. I think if it was your only bike, then maybe you go for the Honda. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where we've got other bikes, so I can have this as a luxury really,
You know, I can indulge myself, and if I need to go into town or city or something, I can ride something else. So we're very lucky. But if it was a sole bike, then I think possibly the Honda. So I've not really answered it, which I guess was pretty inevitable. A few boys out here enjoying themselves. Bearing in mind this is a 20 limit. What I would just add is obviously this is not a top trumps test. This is not around specs, because the Aprilia would win hands down. It's not about that. But what I would say is the Aprilia does feel more premium. When you're riding it, the ride feels more premium. It just feels more premium. And you'd be disappointed if it didn't, because it's, you know, it's an unfair comparison. But you can definitely feel the difference. Let me ask a different question though. A new spec Aprilia like this is twice the price of a Hornet. Okay, nearly 19 grand I think for one of these. That Hornet I rode today, 9 grand. Is this twice the bike? No, definitely not. I think I would rather, if I was going to buy a new one, buy the Hornet, buy a nice exhaust for it, buy a comfortable seat, because the seat on that Hornet is, for me, was bad. Buy a new seat for it, and then have a stack of cash left to pay for some track days, some touring holidays on it, trips out, whatever you want to do. It is not half the bike of what this is. So that's a different question which I didn't pose at the start. So there we go. I guess inevitably I haven't answered the question. It depends what you want. But hopefully I've given you a bit of an insight in my thoughts. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. It's been a magnificent day. What a brilliant day. I mean, the weather, the bikes, couldn't ask for more. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. That helps us hugely. Ride safe, and we'll see you on the next one.